has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Along with the golf guru himself, Carver High and Ferrall, we're in New York City. It's Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Thursday. The opening round of the Masters has been going on. We're all over it. And Justin Rose just drained a 20-footer, 25-footer. Boom, he's 8 under. I think his 80-1 ticket is a done deal as we get into this final hour here. And coming up, Stewie from Augusta, a double shot. And then after that, a double shot with Adam Kaplan, talking about the NFL draft. So a lot is gigging here in the final hour. But we start with the, remnants of NFL skinny before Adam?
Yeah, let's do that. I saw that TJ Watt Instagram post of him giving the peace sign to everybody. He was kind of giving one of these. Of course, that puts everybody into a frenzy. It can't just... What is this about? What is it? He doesn't have any message. What is going on? What is happening?
Right.
It is bizarre. These guys like screwing with everybody and doing stuff like this. Nobody knows why he posted that.
Listen, he's a great player, and I love him being on the Steelers. And I thought that at the end of the year, he faded off horribly. I really did. I went to the games. He didn't have any sacks. He didn't do anything. In the playoff game, he did nothing. Didn't even have a tackle. So, peace sign, you're leaving, no deal, new deal. I don't even care anymore. What's next? The injuries that your brother had? Is your body going to break down? I kind of feel like it's same bloodline, right? I'm all about genes and bloodlines. We've seen him injured, seen his brother injured. When's he going to start getting injured? Let me tell you when you start getting injured, when you get older. Now, this guy is not old yet, but he's going to be soon. And when he's older, it's going to happen. And then what, you want to give him some big, gigantic contract now? When he's, let's face facts. I'm not wrong. At the end of the year, he did nothing. In the playoffs, he did nothing. Am I wrong, Carver High, here at some point? He did nothing. So you're talking about a guy that I love and I think is great. But I don't believe he's worth this gigantic contract that he wants and that he's worth all this tons of money. I really don't. I think that it's the beginning of the end for him. When I see him now at the end of each year, either injured or not making plays, not making tackles, not getting sacks, I know he gets doubled a lot and everything else. That's not my problem. But if you want the big bucks, you got to make those plays. I can see why the Cowboys are giving Parsons all that money because he's young. This guy Watt's been around. He's been around. Let's not act like he's some newbie. So I think it's a very dangerous situation they're in with him in terms of contractually. Fair enough?
Fair enough. You're not wrong. He had a really bad second half in playoff. He did not play well.
He lost the defensive player of the year outright and deservedly.
Yeah, deservedly so this past season. And I did see that Vrabel video. We couldn't play it for several reasons. One, it was like a cell phone vid from one of the guys who wasn't supposed to be using his cell phone in the meeting, and you had language and all that. But I think he made his point pretty clear that it's a new day in New England with Mike Vrabel running the ship now with those guys.
No hoodies, no cell phones. Yeah. Don't be late. I'll give you one call. I got a problem. Don't call twice. Don't do it again. I'll give you one, and then you start calling, I got a problem, I'm going to be late. Don't do it more than once. And he let the lay of the land. The laws have been thrown down. The gauntlet has been thrown.
Don't treat the kitchen staff, the weight room staff. Don't treat any of them poorly. Don't treat anyone poorly. He gave you all the rules to live by there in Foxborough going forward. Mike Vrabel. How about hockey?
Everybody loves hockey.
Everybody does love hockey. A big win for the Leafs last night.
Whoa!
Down in Tampa. They were up going into the third, blew the lead, took it back, blew it again, but then in overtime, how about Matthew Nyes, the hat trick on Sportsnet?
Kucherov drives the lead and sent it wide. Oh, he had Stolarz in some trouble. Played ahead to Nyes. Here's a 2-on-1 with Riley. Matthew Nyes. Riley stopped by Vasilevsky. And another chance. Matthews dives. Scores! Matthew Nyes. And the Leafs have won it.
Sounded like a lot of Toronto fans went down to Tampa, for the game. I'll tell you this much. I had the Leafs plus 1.5 goals on the puck line. Thank you, ma'am.
They probably make, that's, early April, not the worst time to go take a trip from Florida if you're in the Toronto area. They probably went to Sunrise and then scooted up to Tampa. They got to go to both games. You can get tickets to both, not a problem. Toronto now, 100 points on the nose. 3 points up on Tampa, 6 points up on Florida. All three of them have 4 games left. So they're getting closer to locking up that spot.
Well, what that means in Portuguese is don't F this up.
Correct. That would be precisely what that means. Don't screw it up. Wild game last night for the Wild. They beat the Sharks 8-7 in overtime. Macklin Celebrini had a hat trick for the Sharks. He's the first number 1 overall pick to have a hat trick since Austin Matthews in 2016. He's had a really good rookie year. I know nobody's really gotten to talk about it because the Sharks are god-awful this season. But Celebrini's actually
Didn't the guy for the Wild,
really
Eck or whatever, have 4 goals?
Your boy Eck got involved last night. I was not
he had
tuned
4
in
goals.
Well to that. Yes. One of the all-time greats, Joel Eriksson Eck, lighting the lamp for a 4-bagger in St. Paul. Congratulations.
And they
him.
won. He had 4 and they won. The other guy had a hat trick. He got all the attention.
Oilers beat the Blues 4-3. Ducks did beat the Flames in overtime 4-3 as well. We did have last night also, I believe, the first guaranteed matchup set in the Stanley Cup playoff, which will be the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. They are locked in for a first-round meeting. Carolina will have the home ice in that. You're getting closer to everything else. I think Montreal just needs 1 point to seal up the final wild card spot. We're getting pretty close to calling Edmonton and LA as well for a first-round matchup for the 5th year in a row, 6th year in a row.
I know this sounds crazy, but so the Devils are going to play the Canes, and they're heavy dogs. But I've literally heard they have no chance at all against Carolina, who'll have the home ice. I don't care who has home ice. I don't care where the games are played in the NHL anymore. It doesn't matter. Home ice means nothing. And let me tell you something. Not even in a Game 7 does it matter. I've just seen too many teams win a Game 7 on the road. I'll tell you what. Writing off the Devils that they have no chance whatsoever, and it's just a done deal, I bet they upset them.
It would not stun me. I don't think it's just a no doubt about it that Carolina's going to beat them.
They're just not that good. Everyone acts like they're good. They're not that good.
And I also don't believe there are no longer any true home ice advantages in the league. They've got all the old barns that used to make
Toronto
tons of
last
noise.
night. They went to Emily and won the game. It doesn't matter where games are anymore. They can play on a lake.
Rose is behind a tree here. He's got a tough shot on 17.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Thursday. Of course, opening round of the Masters Thursday. And Keith Stewart from Read the Line, who's with us every Golf Wednesday. You get extended Stewie this week because he is there in Augusta at the Masters watching the first round. I'm sure he was out there on the course earlier today. He stops in to check with us as we get towards the end. Keith, good to see you. As always, my man, it looks like, and I was just talking about this, it looks like a beautiful day out there. It seems like optimum scoring conditions, and yes, we have a leader at 8 under that we're going to talk about in a moment, but really, aside from 5 or 6 guys, like it's even or worse for pretty much everyone out there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Mike, and good afternoon on a Thursday. The afternoon wave is actually playing a shot scoring average harder than the morning wave today, you know, and I kind of felt like the golf course was set up for scoring, but the way that things are evening out right now between the two waves, if you're -1, you're still in the top 10, and we all know you want to be in the top 10 after round 1 because that gives you a very good chance to win. Outside that top 10, only one guy's done it this century that's pulled off a green jacket, and that's Tiger. He did it twice, but the other 22 times, you've really got to be very close to the lead. And I'm energized by the Justin Rose leader run, but I'm also energized by the fact that Scotty and Rory are living up to expectations as we kick this thing off on a Thursday.
Let's start with the first part of those two things that you just brought up right now, and that is Justin Rose. Now, full disclosure, me and Cam both have Justin Rose for first round leader. I got 80, Cam got 70. So we are trying to get through these last couple holes here and get this in the barn. But 8 under here through 16. He was in front of that tree on 17. Looked like he got out of it okay. They have not shown the third shot on TV yet, so I'm not sure where he's gone from there. He's been first round leader 4 times in the past. He's got runner up here. He's played the course a billion times. Quite the performance from Justin Rose here, no matter how this last hole and a half goes.
It's interesting, Mike. I'll go back to Full Swing 3. Rose was in one of those episodes, and he said, I'm only in this for legacy anymore. I want Ryder Cups and major championships. Well, hey, I got to give the guy credit because it's either put up or shut up. I mean, this year he's got 2 top 10s. They're both signature events, the AT&T and the API. Last year, he had 2 top 10s, one at the PGA, and he was runner-up at the Open Championship in major championships. I mean, this guy, he's focused, he's patient, and he has what we all consider to be a very major championship-like skill set, right? He drives it far enough, but he's very steady, very patient. He's got Fooch back on the bag the last couple of years, and you've heard a lot of conversations today on TV between the two of them, right? There's no impulsive decisions. They're very calm. They're very collected. They know what they're doing around this place. He's got 20 starts. It's one of those things where if you looked at Justin Rose on a Thursday, you'd say, man, you guys made 2 good bets. I don't personally love the first round leader market, but you guys do. And I think that you were very savvy. I mean, one other thing I'll say about Rose is that if you go back since strokes gained stats started here back in 2020, right? Only one guy's better strokes gained putting on the property in the Masters, and that's Patrick Reed. Rose is number 2. So I feel good about you and Cam, the Prime Minister, crossing the finish line this afternoon.
Well, he did just hit that 3rd shot, a great shot. He's right by the stick. He should be able to get this in for par on 17, stay at 8 under as he goes to the 18th tee box. And look, we're nuts, Keith. I mean, I know that it's not a great EV bet plus EV bet first round leader. It's all, but we're nuts and we like having a crazy time every Thursday with them. So we go with it, and we're going to get Rose through the door. Now, Scotty and Rory, not just a dream for us, Keith, it's probably a dream for television too, because if they have Scotty and Rory in the top 5 on Saturday and Sunday, they are going to be hoping up and away through the roof with people watching.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And one of the things that I expect, and those guys will be able to handle better than anybody, that is that the golf course is going to be set up much more difficult tomorrow. Right now, the scoring average in the AM wave was about plus 1.6. In the afternoon wave, it's about plus 2.6. It's about a stroke harder. But they're going to make this place even tougher tomorrow. I guarantee you they don't like seeing all of these red scores that they're seeing today. Remember, they're targeting like an 8 to 10 under winner. So I think tomorrow they're going to stiffen things up a little bit. Now, the morning guys, the guys that are out there right now, you might want to worry about Rose and Rory because they're going to have a little bit of an advantage. It's going to rain overnight tonight, maybe even as much as a 1/4 of an inch. It's going to happen a very short period of time. And then tomorrow morning, conditions will be very conducive to scoring. No wind, a little bit softer surfaces. The afternoon, it's going to blow. So the guys that were out this morning and had that advantage are going to come out tomorrow afternoon when it's going to be a little bit more windy. I think it's going to level things out a little bit. And I think you're going to see maybe Rose, Scotty, and Rory kind of work their way to the top of that leaderboard after 36 holes.
Well, the downfall to what I just said to you is as we look at the live board right now, we always like to try to find live spots with Scotty and Rory because the pre-tournament numbers are so, let's just face it, unplayable. Scotty plus 260, Rory plus 280 as we sit here at this moment. That's still just not there for me, Keith, with 3 rounds to go. No. That's just not where I want to be.
No, not at all. A couple of years ago when Scotty won in 22, he was, at the end of Thursday, he was 10-1, and that's an opportunity, right? But right now there were no opportunities pre-tournament, and maybe one of them has a rough day tomorrow with 36 holes to go. If Scotty was sitting at plus 260 on Sunday, then it's go time. But right now with 3 rounds to go, your head's in the right spot.
Rose, by the way, plus 550, and then you go all the way to 16 with Ludwig. And Corey Connors at 22, who played well this morning. He finished 4 under, was one of the first guys who got in the clubhouse with a pretty good number. All right, when we come back, Keith, I want to ask you about a few other guys that we haven't talked about yet. I've seen Rahm throwing clubs. I'm extremely disappointed with JT this morning. We talked about him a lot yesterday and how he came out and played today. So we will go through a few of these guys that did not get off to the best start at Augusta. Except for Nicky Dunlap. I mean, a 90 for Nicky Dunlap.
All right, today. Skip that for a second. Did Rose make par? Did Rose make par?
He made par at 17, yes. He made the par at 17. Right. He's off to 18 on his way. Coast to coast, Keith Stewart read the line from Augusta after this.
okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and you know, launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We know what Chris Sale can bring. I was personally high on Schwallenbach. Smith-Shawver, their other starter, looks okay to kind of bad. They need to I don't want to say tread water, so I think that puts it in a bad light, but that's what they ultimately need to do. They need to tread water until Strider gets back, until Acuna gets back, and maybe it's just part of the team morale mentality that we're not at full strength, we need to kick things into gear once those guys get here.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
These guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks. And again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
After every round, you guys were still up in each other's face, mouthing off before you went back to your corners, trying to get not just the last punch, but the last word. What was the mood between you guys? Obviously, you're in there for your fright.
It didn't cut him. It didn't stunt him. A point wasn't taken away. There's no reason to even mention something like that. You're in a brawl. Things are happening. Accidents happen.
Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, Coast to Coast, here on a Thursday, opening round of the Masters Thursday. Keith Stewart from Read the Line in Augusta, there for it all. He'll be back with us tomorrow as well. All right, Keith, let's go through a few of these guys towards the top. First, I've seen Rahm. He looks like he wants to take every club out of his bag, snap it over his knee, throw them all in the creek as he goes over that bridge. Rahm has had a miserable day. I think he's 4 over now.
With some of these guys, Mike, you could blame it on one skill or a bad break or something like that. But Rahm's been all over the place today. He's been a big disappointment. He has to be the biggest disappointment on the board. I know you mentioned Nick Dunlop, but nobody was betting him to win, right? Like, yeah, Rahm went off at 14, so he was the third. He was the third favorite to go off today when the odds board kind of closed pre-tournament. And the thing is, he's got 5 bogeys on his card, right? And he's coming up to the 2 par 5s, but he's already 4 over. He's going to shoot himself right out of this thing. Right now, he's 12 shots behind.
He's finished. He's got no shot. He's the only thing he's got to work for now is to try to backdraft his way into the weekend and try to do that. That's pretty much and I don't think he can get his head on straight before he can even do that. What did you see from JT this morning? Because I thought that was very disappointing.
Well, you know what? JT was unbelievable with the putter. So yesterday, if you and I were talking on a Golf Wednesday, we would. If I told you that JT gained 2.5 strokes with his putter just in round 1, you would have been like, Keith, double my bet, triple my bet, right? But the driver was all over the place. This place does have some room off the tee. JT was a little outside those parameters. But you know what? The rest of the ball striking was okay. The chipping was a little bit off and on, but I think JT getting out of it today with a 73 for us was a home run because he's going to get back out there tomorrow. He's going to figure some things out. And we know with JT, you get a roller coaster. So if that's JT's bad round, right? We know we're going to get a couple hot rounds. I think JT's still in it. Unlike Rahm, who's just pretty much toast at this point, I think we could still get a good charge out of JT tomorrow, and then a couple more rounds. We'll see what happens. The problem there, unfortunately for the qualifier, is that we need Rory or Scotty in order to take a step sideways, at least to sit in position for a little while in order for JT to catch up. So it's right now I'm hitched to Xander. I need Xander. He's at +1. I would love to see Xander get it under par by the time he gets it in the house today. He'll be in that top 11. Remember now, -1 is still top 11, and there's almost 30 guys under par. So I think that it's going to be harder tomorrow. Xander will play in the morning when it's soft. He could do Xander things.
28 guys right now in red on the court right now at this moment as me and you are speaking. Next one, the place must always go nuts when you get a senior that does well. Was everyone buzzing with Freddie today, holing out on 14 and being one under here? Everyone loves Freddie.
Well, it's funny because the vibe as it starts the day is everyone feels like Christmas morning. It doesn't matter what age you are. And we've waited so many months in order to get back into major season. And that's one of the big reasons why I think the Masters just stands out amongst all the other major championships. That, and everyone knows the golf course. But you always get one of these runs. And a lot of people were talking about Longer in his 41st start and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, Freddie is just so classic around this place. And then when he holes out for eagle on 14 and he just kind of saunters around, he doesn't wear socks. I mean, it definitely got people charged up. You got to remember, a lot of the people they're in and around the media center are older. They remember covering Freddie. To them, that gives them some energy. And the place has had a tremendous vibe. I was out there this morning on the golf course, walking around after I got done with the early line guys. And there was definitely a very, very hot vibe going on around this place. In the morning, there weren't as many eagles and big shots and everything. This afternoon, there was a lot more going on when I was walking around. And I tell you what, the place is just kind of simmering right now. The water's getting ready to boil. I think tomorrow we're going to get some tougher pins, but we're also going to get some more electricity.
The one other thing about those two guys being in it, Rory and Scotty, is you can still get great prices on guys who are right by him. I mean, Connor's 20-1, Hatton 30-1, Jason Day, Oberg at 20, 18 or 20 right now. Bryson just made a birdie, so his number moved. But there's guys there, Keith, if you want to dip in tonight after round one who are close.
You know what? I'm going to stick to the markets to maybe some placements, but definitely some head-to-heads. I'm going to pound the head-to-heads tomorrow. I'm not going to go three balls. I'm going to go head-to-heads. I'm talking with the guys later on in-game decisions tonight, so we'll be on at 8:45, and we'll go through the board. We'll put some head-to-heads together, and we're going to come up with some matchups that we can watch tomorrow, and then we'll sweat out the cut line. Right now, the number +3 is at 40%, +4, 30%. It's going to be right around there, probably +3, and we'll see what happens tomorrow afternoon.
Keith Stewart, read the line. We'll see him tonight on In-Game Live at 8:45.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's In-Game Live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
NFL insider. He's covered the NFL for almost 30 years, and he's been with us from the jump. You can follow him at Kaplan NFL on X, and he's on C2C regularly every week. And we got a double shot with him today, so we're going to do more on the draft. And we have, obviously, the top 10 pick order of what's going to go down at Green Bay in this draft.
Yeah, and Scott, you know, the draft is actually, believe it or not, 2 weeks from tonight, and we look forward to our coverage here on SportsGrid. I'll be here. I'll be on the coverage Thursday and Friday night. And Scott, I want to talk about the top 10, right? The top 10 is starting to come into focus. It's really interesting. If you got the odds on Monday, Shedeur Sanders was clearly the odds-on favorite to go 3 to the Giants. That has changed. We're going to get into that. We'll get into the Titans today and the Browns in the first segment. But things have changed. And what happens is information comes out. Travis Hunter, Scott, this is what's really happened. Because I know a lot of people are confused. Why was everyone on Shedeur Sanders for 3 months to go to the Giants? If you talk to NFL people, they'll tell you, if you just look at the players individually, Travis Hunter is a much better football player than Shedeur Sanders. It's not that Shedeur Sanders is not a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback. But if you just looked at the performance of both players, Travis Hunter is a better football player. And, by the way, he can play 2 positions. That's fascinating. And I cannot wait, by the way, after he gets drafted in the top 3, what the projection numbers will be by odds. And you know, is he going to catch 30 passes, 40, 50, and so forth? But most likely he's going to be a corner depending who drafts him. But what I find fascinating is I was there. Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Browns, went on record when he was asked at the Combine. He's usually tight-lipped, but he said it. We see him more as a receiver than a cornerback. And what's fascinating is, Scott, if you look at the odds right now, the odds-on favorite, it's completely changed. A week ago, you could have got Travis Hunter plus money. Not anymore, Scott. Travis Hunter is now minus 325 to go to the Browns at number 2.
Wow, that's crazy. So
that's how things have changed.
Well, listen, so I have to ask you then, if that means that the Giants are obviously not going to pick him, and they're going to pick this guy Carter.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. So the odds now, speaking of that, let's go to those Giants. It's a huge draft for them. Yes, they need a quarterback, but the value is not there. Shedeur Sanders will go in the first round. That's not the question. The question is, how far will he fall? We'll talk about that later in today's segments. But Shedeur Sanders now is plus 650 to go to the Giants. On Monday, Scott, he was plus 105. That's how things have changed within 4 days. Travis Hunter is plus 240 now because, again, we're expecting to go number 2. But Abdul Carter is now minus. You could have got him plus on money. Is now minus 220 to go to the Giants. Now, I know Giants fans are, wait a minute, we've got Thibodeau, we've got Burns. You can never have enough pass rushers. And by the way, they've not signed Kayvon Thibodeau to an extension, okay? It's about the future. That's what the draft is about. You take the best player available at a position of future need, and you don't worry about what the fans or the media thinks. Abdul Carter is the best player there. Now, you and I have talked about this Abdul Carter situation. He had the stress reaction. He had the shoulder issue. The stress reaction, the thing is, you have to feel totally comfortable that this will not be a long-term problem. Short-term, you could live with it. If it's a long-term problem, that changes it. Right now, the thought around the league is, it's just a short-term issue. It should not affect him. He should not get past the Giants at number 3. But the bottom line is with Shedeur Sanders, when you talk about a player dropping, the reality is when you talk to NFL people, it wasn't really that he was dropping. The reality is that it's a one quarterback draft. It's Cam Ward than everybody else.
So let me ask you, they've obviously in that front office, Shane and Dable, they have already decided, it would appear to me, from what you're telling me, that they're satisfied with the quarterback room as it stands now, and they're not worried about drafting Shedeur Sanders because it's not happening. And then I want to ask you, does this same group of people believe in Thibodeau? Like, what do they, what do they think of him? Is he going to get a new deal, some big fat deal? Do you think he's been a great player? Like, what is their thinking there?
Yeah, he's been a good player. He's not been a great player. I don't want to say he was overdrafted, but there was a lot of hype around Kayvon Thibodeau.
I do.
He's been a nice player. He's not been great. Now, I will tell you,
don't cut it in New York or in the NFL. Nice don't cut it.
By the way, if Travis Hunter goes at 3, if he does not go to the Browns at 2, which would be a surprise, he's not getting past the Giants at number 3. I don't care that they've got good enough corners. Travis Hunter is a game changer, okay? Travis Hunter is a special football player. And you and I will be talking about this closer to the draft. This draft, and the term is blue chip prospects. This draft of the last 10 years probably has on paper the fewest amount of blue chip prospects to go in the first round. It's just not a great first round. But Travis Hunter in any draft is special. There's no question about that.
So let me ask you this question. So, being in Philly, how great Howie is, Roseman, at running the Eagles to another ring and another Lombardi. These guys, Shane and Dable, have butchered their tenure in New York. There's no getting around that. And you're telling me that they're not drafting a quarterback and they're going to go with what they have. What that says to me is that both of those guys are doomed.
Understand this, Scott, though. Okay, let's
can't
address
win without quarterbacks. Their quarterbacks all suck.
I hear you, but let me address the situation. The worst thing you can do, and I hate to bring this guy up, and I was there at that draft in 2017, but when the Bears reached for Mitch Trubisky because they needed a quarterback, that set them back. Yeah, they made the playoffs with him, but they never got there. Mitch Trubisky, no one would have criticized it if he went in the second round. Shedeur Sanders does not have the value to go at number 3. I know they need a quarterback. It's about this season with Russell Wilson, okay? No question he's going to be the starter. Winston will back him up. But the future they can get next year. Now, I know some people are saying, well, they're going to avoid a quarterback here because if they took a quarterback, they know that guy wouldn't play. I know that's some thinking there, but the bottom line is Shedeur Sanders is not good enough to go at number 3. He's a mid to late first-round pick in true value. But it doesn't mean he can't be a good quarterback. That's not the point. The point is when you grade the player, he's got a lower grade, and that's why he's going lower.
So, God forbid he ends up with the Steelers at 21. Is that what's going to happen with this guy?
It's so funny because they've been on Jackson Dart a little bit. Jackson Dart to me is a late first, early second round pick. Shedeur Sanders to me is a better prospect. In fact, it's not. It's a fact. I mean, Shedeur Sanders is a better quarterback at this point, based on tape, than Jackson Dart. But that would be. Listen, if you're the Steelers, and I know cornerback for the future is a need for them. They got to start looking at edge rusher because of T.J. Watt's age. They got to look at running back. They're going to need a receiver down the line, depending on what they do with George Pickens. But they also need to get the quarterback situation solved for the future.
Do they like Milroe better than Sanders is the question.
I doubt that. Milroe, that's a second-round pick player, by the way. I know Milroe's an interesting player. I know there's some steam there with the Steelers and Milroe. Milroe is not a first-round graded quarterback. He's just not.
How good is Kyle McCord? Because I thought he was a really good quarterback at Syracuse. I thought he was unbelievable, but he gets no juice whatsoever.
He's a third to fourth round pick, Scott. That's what he is. This draft, Scott, is like that. That's what he is. He's a mid-round quarterback. This quarterback draft, Scott, and that's why you can't reach. You can't push the panic button just because you need a quarterback. That's the point.
Oh, the stress of all of this is just unbelievable. And in 2 weeks, we'll find out where they all go. When we come back, we're going to talk to Adam about divisional odds in the offseason as we head toward a new season. Who are the favorites?
know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
In the break, Adam said that I was a fat ass, and then Mafia agreed with him. And I thought that it was really unnecessary roughness, and it will go to a review at the league office, and we'll have the results next week. Anyway, I wanted to ask you a question before we get into this divisional stuff, okay? Because you had a lot there on the, what we were going to do, but I wanted to go back at least and say, the positions drafted in the first round. You had total quarterbacks drafted.
Yep.
You had total running backs drafted and total wide receivers drafted. Could you elaborate on those real quick before we do the divisions?
Sure. So we're talking about first round quarterbacks, Scott. The over under is for 2.5 is minus 320 on the over. The under is plus 235. Yeah. We're going to listen. We could talk all we want about how Shedeur Sanders is going to drop. Oh, Jackson Dart really should be a second round pick, not a first round pick, but they're going to go in the first round. I like the over at minus 320. The under again is plus 235. Now, this one is fascinating. We're going to talk more about the running backs in future segments, but the total running backs in the first round, the over is plus 240, the under is 330, where I think the money is. I would agree with that. Ashton Genty and Marion Hampton, they're clearly going to go in the first round. But a guy you and I are going to talk about in the future who's going to be a top 40 pick is Travion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State.
Right.
He's got comparisons, to Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions. People thought the Lions reached. They were wrong. The Lions got that right. He's unbelievably explosive. His time speed isn't great, but his play speed on tape is phenomenal. And he's a supreme pass protector. It would not shock me if he went in the first round, but there's no question in my mind there are going to be 2 running backs in the first round at minimum. And this is a good one. The total receivers drafted in the first round, the over is minus 275, which I totally agree with. And the under is plus 200. McMillan, the receiver from I see 4, Scott. McMillan, the receiver from Arizona. Luther Burns, a stud out of Missouri. Matthew Golden from Texas is definitely going the first round. He had a great combine workout. And I believe the 4th, if we get 4, will be Ibuka, the receiver from Ohio State. Definitely 3, Scott. And as many as 4, and the over to me feels very strong at minus 275.
One thing that we've noticed on SportsGrid is that Adam gets so excited for the draft every year that his mustache remains black and his beard has a little dusting of gray in it. Now let's move on to the divisional. You look fantastic, Adam. Let's move on to the divisional odds pre-draft. Remember, in the NFC East, It never happens twice in a row, but I think it will. No one's beaten Philly.
I know. A couple things on that note. It was the Eagles, Scott, the last team to win back-to-back NFC East. They won 4 in a row, 0-1 through 0-4. They were the last one. So it's been 21 years, Scott, but the Eagles are -1. Yeah, Eagles are -140. Commandos are +195. Cowboys +750. Giants +2200. And by the way, I told you this last year when we did them right after the draft. The earlier you get in the prohibitive favorites, the better off you are, the better odds you get. The Eagles are -140, or it's clearly the play here.
So I heard this story about this alleged anonymous GM, which is pathetic to begin with. I hate guys that won't put their name to something they say. And this alleged GM said that Daniels would have a sophomore slump. I don't believe that.
Look, I know people are pointing to TJ Stroud had a sophomore slump, but the problem was the Texans offensive line was terrible last season.
Yeah.
You got to give Washington credit. They added Deebo Samuel. They know they need to add speed in the draft. They added a significant piece at left tackle with Laramie Tunsil. They know they had some issues on offense that they fixed, that they've corrected. No, I agree with you. But it's really hard to play at that elite level after you've done it as a rookie. I get that. Let's talk NFC North here. The Lions are +135, Packers +275, Vikings +400, and Bears +425.
Is that not crazy after everyone said that the Bears were going to be the team to beat? I know the Lions are, but everyone thinks the Bears are going to the playoffs.
Yeah, and we'll talk playoffs in the future, but yeah, the Lions at +135 would be the play. The Packers always have a good roster and they make the playoffs, but I don't like them. Now the NFC South, I'll tell you this: the Bucs seem to win the division every year. They're +105. The Falcons are +250. Panthers +425. Saints a bad +750. The Bucs now are the favorite. They're the clear favorite. The Falcons are a sleeper. I'll tell you what. That's a team, depending on how Michael Penix plays. It's not that the Bucs are like a juggernaut, okay? They're the favorite, and I would agree with that. The Falcons, depending on what they do in the draft, could be a sleeper. As we finish off the NFC, Scott, I'll tell you what, I got a sleeper here to win that division. The Niners are the favorite at +135. The Rams are +175. The Seahawks at +550. Cardinals +600. The Seahawks with Sam Darnold, with a new play caller in Clint Kubiak, who's terrific, by the way. I like the Seahawks to upset that division right now. Yep, that's my special at +550. That's a great number, by the way. And also, we got to see what they do in the draft. But you're getting great odds there.
5.5 to 1. I like that. How about in the AFC East? We know what's going to happen, right?
Bills -1 270. That's pretty much a lock. I find it funny that the odds makers think so badly of the Dolphins. The Patriots, who've had a good offseason, they're +600 with the Dolphins. The Jets +1400. Love the
great.
Bills there. Yep. AFC North, Ravens -130. Bengals +220. Your Steelers +475. I wonder what would happen when they get Rodgers. Browns +3,000. Ravens, the clear lock at favorite at -130. I agree with it. AFC South, Texans +100. Jaguars +320. Colts +330. Titans +800. You know, it's a terrible division. It's the worst division that
is that even a division anymore? It's so
I know,
bad.
It's terrible. I know it's terrible. Now, AFC West, the Chiefs, their offensive line's still a problem. They're -130. Chargers +300. Broncos +400. Raiders +1,500.
Broncos 4-1.
You know what? Actually, the Chargers are my upset special, but I got to see what they do in the draft. I'm not on the Chiefs anymore, man. Mahomes has been very substandard the last 2 seasons. I know all they do is win. But that jig's going to be up.
They lose every game they play. I swear to God.
I know. I'm
unbelievable.
I'm not on the Chiefs right now. I want to see what the Chargers do in the draft now. I get why the Chiefs are the favorite.
In his spare time, Adam Kaplan bets on Bryce Harper home run prop.
all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
So Colorado won a baseball game, stopped the press 7-2 over Milwaukee, and Boston leads Toronto 1-0 in the top of the seventh at Fenway. And I know we got to do hockey because it's time for leftovers.
It is time for that, and let's go because we have tons of hockey. By the way, Justin Rose in the clubhouse at 7 under. Rory's at 4 under. On the 15th, we need to sweat this one out. Here we go.
Boston 8-1. Drink tequila,
nothing's
honestly.
good till it's over. Minus 172 for the Bruins tonight. 5.5. Both teams suck.
Yeah, the Bruins will win the game. I wouldn't bet on this if I was held captive.
The Red Wings are in Sunrise against the Panthers tonight. Heavy lumber here. Minus 210 for Florida. 5.5.
I'll lay the goal and a half at plus 122 with the Panthers. They have to win in some capacity. Don't they have to win some game that they play at home?
Well,
they're
look,
not winning the
there's
cup.
also, they also, maybe they want to have home ice against Tampa in the first round. So yes, there's still reasons to want to go and win. Columbus tonight at home, minus $140 against Buffalo, 6.5.
I'm on Sports Jackets here. I think the Sabres, as you know, I won with them the other night. They win at home. They don't win on the road.
Carolina is in D.C. against the Caps this evening. Carolina road favorite minus $152, plus 126 for the Caps and a 5.5.
Yeah, there's no way I'm not betting on the Capitals at the Capital One with your boy Ovi and company. They're flat out better than the Canes. I cannot believe this price at $1.35.
The Islanders and the Rangers getting together at the horse track tonight. I guess if there's one thing the Islanders can take out of the end of their season, it's officially eliminating their crosstown rival this evening, and they're favored.
Yeah, I think there's a real huge bloodletting coming at the Garden. I think Pete's out. I think their season's out. They were horrible at home at the Garden. Last year they won 30 games at home. It was embarrassing this year. And I think the Islanders will beat them at the horse track. I love Patrick Waugh. Do not fire Patrick Waugh. Get rid of that old geezer GM of yours.
I wish. The Jets and the Stars, they could see each other in a couple of weeks. Stars minus 125 at home.
I think the Jets are better than the Stars. I'm going to take them in Dallas for the upset.
The Canucks are in Colorado against the Avalanche tonight. -2 Bills now for Colorado, plus $1.80 for the Canucks at a 5.5.
I'll lay the 1.5 with the Avs at home against the Canucks. I know Gabe was talking about the greatest comeback in history. Their season's over. I don't care how many comebacks they have. They're going to get beat tonight.
Nashville is in Utah against the Predators this evening. Utah minus $1.90 and a 5.5.
Another game I wouldn't pay to see or bet on based on they're both ass, and the Utah Hockey Club's been eliminated. But if I were to bet it, I'd bet the over 6, as it'll be a trash game with a bunch of goals that don't matter.
Rory chips it into the water on 15 as he was going. He puts it over to Green, and it rolls all the way down the hill into the water. I don't think he's getting a 7 under now. Rory in the drink. Let's go, baby.
You can't be cheering against our guy from Northern Ireland, and then, but you're going to get your money anyway, and then you cheer against the Northern Islander. I mean, this is a problem.
Tell you something. Until this guy's in the clubhouse, I'm rooting for him to do bad. I want that Justin Rose ticket in my pocket.
An hour ago, you were going to bet on him to win the first-round leader. Like, you need to have a drink.
A little.
It's over.
Gotta
You're
hedge
good
a little
with 80
bit.
to 1. Stop.
-280 for the Knights tonight against the Kraken.
I mean, this is going to be like sex on a stick, like beef on a stick at the Chinese place. I love those things, steak on a stick. Give me the Vegas Knights on the puck line. Lay it at -105. They'll spank the Kraken. The Kraken are mailing it in.
And finally, the Freeway Series in L.A., the Ducks and the Kings tonight at the Crypto. -350 for the Kings. Jeez.
I'll do 2 bets here. Ducks for the upset special to Rogie Vachon, and the getting a 1.5, and I think I can get it at +105. I hit him last night. I'm going to hit him again tonight.
Tennessee and Georgia Tech are going to play a football home and home in 26 and 27. Johnny Broom's going to the NBA draft. The High Point coach is leaving to join Greg McDermott's staff at Kirk Creighton because apparently he plans on retiring sometime soon. Doesn't have a date. Borussia Dortmund tells Gio Reyna to take a walk, go find a new team. And Tyreek Hill's in trouble again. His wife filed for divorce. Cops called over a domestic dispute.
After he was allegedly beating her yesterday. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on